All right, hello everyone, and welcome to my next Melyn Talks video. And today is going to be Melyn Rants. I'm going to be talking about some things that are common misunderstandings and other things that that just kind of make me a little angry or a little upset when I hear. So we're just going to go one by one down the line, talk about things that I don't like. So we're going to start with this main one, and this main one is almost an apology for the future ones because a lot of the things I'm going to be ranting about have to do with streamers, okay? So specifically, first I want to counteract the thing that a lot of people think that full-time streaming is sort of like this dream job or or something like that. And honestly, for I think 90% of people who stream full-time, if not more than that, actually have pretty miserable lives, right? So if you think about streaming full-time, right, you're basically isolated all the time. These people work like a lot of times they'll work like 60 hours a week or something like that. A lot of them have six day a week stream schedule, and they'll stream 8 to 10 hours a day or something like that. So first off, it's a huge time commitment. There's so much isolation. Like humans, by and large, need interaction, and people who play video games, like I think, usually on the whole, we need it less maybe, or maybe we just get it less, so we think we need it less. And not being able to actually face-to-face interact with people, or a lot of times even like get out of your home very much, I think is a very toxic sort of lifestyle. So I think like just the isolation in general is really hard for them. Not to mention, if you're talking about like income stability, it's really, really rough. It's like, I'm a smaller streamer, but the monthly income I get is actually sort of fairly flat. It doesn't change too much from month to month, but like every streamer or every person in general is going to have these like vicissitudes, like going up and down, and they'll have high points, they'll have low points. And like I can't imagine, like me personally, stability is really important to me, and knowing that I'm going to get X amount every month in the mail, or direct deposit actually from the college is really, really nice. And when you're streaming, you don't have that sort of stability. So if things aren't going well, like you're gonna have to start worrying about money, maybe, depending on how rich you are or how successful your stream is. And the couple other things, right, is there's so much negative feedback. The bigger your stream is, the more people are telling you that you suck. For me, I've got a fairly small stream, or like it's kind of a big affiliate stream, but small in the grand scheme of things. Stream. So most of the people who watch me actually care about me, so they don't really. I don't get very many trolls. But the bigger you are, the more people who are going to watch you. I have no idea why, but there's so many people who watch streamers just to say mean things about them, and I'm very good at banning people who do that in my chat. But once you're so big, it's kind of hard to do. And people you don't even know, or people who like just like random people who you're not making content for, like streaming, making video content is providing a service. It's creating something, and people buy it with their time, with their money. And like any product, you make something for a target audience. Every streamer has target audiences, and when somebody outside that target audience shows up and says like you suck, like it makes no sense. Like, why are you even there? Why are you even trying to consume the product? And I especially noticed this pretty recently when somebody was saying some rude things to RTO, and say like he yells too much, or he's like too much energy or something. It's like, that's his thing. You watch RTO if you want the energy. If you don't want the energy, go somewhere else. Like every single streamer has something that you go there for. For example, a lot of people could come to my stream and say, "Wow, Melyn, you're pretty boring." Well, no, like that's kind of what I focus on. I focus on trying to remain a little calmer most of the time, and be educational and not get too upset. And obviously I don't always succeed at those things, but that's kind of the aim, or the angle that I use for my own personal stream. And so, yeah, every streamer has that. So, in general, I think it's got to be really hard to be a streamer. Isolation, no stability, constant negative feedback. And I think that's pretty rough. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about that really grinds my gears is when people bring up win rates, all right? So obviously win rate means something, right? It's, oh, this percent is how many wins divided by how many games. Okay, that's just a simple math formula. Okay, and don't even get me started. Oh, sorry, I don't have my limiter on. I have to keep my volume a little down. Don't even get me started about people saying negative win rate. A win rate cannot be negative, okay? It can be less than 50%. It cannot be negative, okay? All right. Anyway, that's the side note. That's not what this point is about, okay? The League of Legends will, by design, try to give you a 50% win rate. The more you win, the better your opponents will be. The more you lose, the worse your opponents will be. It wants you to have a 50% win rate. Okay? So, like, oh, I've got a 70% win rate or something. Oh, that's crazy. You know, that just means that your MMR is lower than your actual skill level. If you have a 50% win rate, there's no shame in that. That just means your MMR matches your skill level. And really what win rate comes down to is sample size, okay? Like nobody will have a 60% win rate forever. Even challenger players, the more games they play, the closer they're going to get to 50% win rate, okay? If you have a low win rate, again, you'll not stay at 40% win rate forever either. Eventually you'll lose enough games that you'll get placed against opponents of your caliber and your win rate will go up to 50%, asymptotically, of course. So it really grinds my gears when someone's like, oh man, you only have a 52% win rate or something. You know, you're not that good or something, but come on. And this is a good segue. My Twitch chat is making fun of me saying asymptotically. This is a good segue into talking about hard stuck. Okay, so I can't read chat when I'm recording these. So all hard stuck means is you're maintaining that skill level. If I'm a hard stuck master, that means I'm maintaining that skill level. If I'm a hard stuck diamond, that means I'm maintaining that skill level. Okay, and first off, there's a couple points I want to make here. Everyone's getting better at the game by and large. Okay, if you took a professional League of Legends team right now and compared their skills with a professional League of Legends team in season 1 or something, it would be a ridiculous stomp, okay? Everyone's always getting better. So first off, by definition, if you are hard stuck in a rank, you are improving. You're just improving at the same rate as everyone else in that area, okay? So first off, you're still improving, so hard stuck makes no sense. Second off, you can think of the amount of work and practice you put into a game as it's kind of like now I'm not going to make a physics example on this actually. Okay, so but basically, right, it takes a certain amount of time every week for me to maintain my skill. Okay? Now, you know, a lot of times people play more than they need to and they're not practicing effectively. But even if you are practicing effectively, there's a certain amount of time you need to put in every week to maintain your skill. And if you put in less than that time, you are going to be going down in skill. If you put in exactly that much time, you are going to be maintaining your skill. And if you're going up, if you're putting more than that time, again, assuming it's effective practice time, that's a very big thing, but that's not part of Melyn Rants today. Assuming you're putting in effective practice time, you will then improve, okay? So me staying in Master requires, and I don't even know how long I'm going to stay in Master. I'm surprised I have played so many games and not demoted yet, but it takes a good time commitment. I play League of Legends probably like 40 hours a week or something like that, which is incredible, right? To have a full-time job and full-time job and stream 40 hours a week. I have no life, okay? Which I am okay with. But most people who have jobs also have lives and they can only put in a certain amount of time. And if they can maintain their skill level, no matter what that is, I think that's, you know, admirable, okay? So Yeah, that's another thing. So don't go over the top about win rate. Don't go over the top about being hard stuck or something. The next point I want to make is, and this, I talk about this all the time. Pro players are not the number one experts on the game. Okay, they don't know everything about the champions they play. They don't know everything about item builds. They don't know about everything about solo queue meta. All right, these people are very, very, very talented, but most of the time they are mechanically gifted, not so much gifted in other ways. Okay, so like if you want to be like, here's a really good example. Okay, if I want to be the best Alawi player I can be, I'm not going to look up Faker's Alawi play, or like, Faker's a really good player, right? But does he know how to play Alawi? No, I'm going to look at Dirty Mobs, okay? A really good Alawi player who's in Challenger, all right? I don't know if Quas still plays Alawi, but yeah, he would be another great person to look at, because they have invested a huge amount of time into that champion, all right? But pros don't have the luxury of spending all that time. I don't know how many games Dirty Mobs has on Alawi, but pros they do not have the time to play that many Alawi games. So he has so much more knowledge about the intricacies of that champion than they do. I think there was a couple of people when Heimerdinger was popular in the bot lane, they actually went out to Heisendong and got coached by him, because they recognized, hey, this guy is really good at Heimerdinger. I'm an AD carry main. I don't know everything there is to know about Heimerdinger. So yeah, it was definitely, yeah. So that was, I think, really cool to see, because really, I think pros have so much to learn about one tricks. Do I think pros have a lot to learn from me? No, of course not. I'm low LP master, but I think I could teach, if Zyra was in the meta, I certainly think I could teach them some things. But the problem is the solo queue meta and the way I play Zyra is so different from the pro meta, and so I really don't think much of my skills would transfer to them at all. In fact, I think Zyra is a pretty bad champion in pro play in general, even when she is strong in solo queue. So yeah, if you're looking, like, if a pro says something about like the Riot balance team or something, I don't think pros are the best about game balance. I don't think pros are the smartest about builds or the runes or the meta. In fact, if anything, professional League of Legends players are always way behind on these things. There was a period of like 9 months or something when Zyra was so absurdly strong. I think it was after the mid-year mage update way back when, with the mini rework, and I was destroying with Zyra, and I wasn't very good. She was just so strong, it just worked. And then like nothing changed. In fact, Zyra was getting steadily nerfed as time went on. And then finally, 9 months later, one of the pros was like, hey, this Zyra champion's pretty good. She sucks in pro play, but she's pretty good in solo queue. She's so good in solo queue, I can actually make her work in professional play. And then everyone started playing. It's like, oh, hey, that guy's right. I should play Zyra. Like, they're always way behind it. And one of the reasons why I think pros are way too reluctant to pick up new champions is kind of why one-tricking works in general, is that the best way to play and the best way to get good at League of Legends really is to pour so much time into champions. If you think about it, most professional players really are like 3 or 4 tricks. And that's why people complain about seeing the same champions every game, because you have to spend so much time on a given champion to really be comfortable with it and to really be strong on it. So really, in a professional meta, pros learn like a couple champions at a time, and then they get rusty on those, or they'll have those pocket picks that they're famous for, and stuff like that, which is kind of interesting. So in their defense, right, I say they're really behind the meta in a lot of ways, but in their defense, really, they do need to spend a lot of time honing on the champions that they do want to play. But I really do think they could pick up new champions and stuff more quickly, especially counter picks. I think are big. Like almost every champion has counterplay. And it was really cool to see Licorice bring out the Hecarim top into Aatrox. Nobody was playing Hecarim top, but he realized, or maybe one of the analysts or coaches, or I don't know, somebody realized on that team, hey, this will really work. And they picked up something new, and it was really effective, okay? And I would like to see more of that. So, that's pretty much it for point 3. So the next point I want to make is, this is not something really that makes me angry. It just kind of makes me a little sad, is people get really upset or focused on LP when in reality LP is a byproduct. LP is an output. It's not what you should be focusing on. It's a byproduct of it. It's a byproduct of skill and MMR. Okay, so this will be a sad rant for number 4. We'll get back into angry ranting for number 5, okay? So, like, if you get 99 LP, that's nothing to be sad of, right? You're still winning games, you're still improving your MMR, and really, again, you're going to get lucky with some games, your teammates, and you're going to get unlucky with other games for your teammates, okay? So it's really important to just realize that, win or lose, the outcome of a game doesn't really matter at the end of the day, because first off, MMR is more important than LP, and second off, if you're a certain skill level, if I'm a master skill level, I don't care how many games it takes, I will get to master. And that's why it's kind of also weird to me, like, oh, this is going to be a good side rant, right? When people say, like, you can't climb a support or something, that's absolute nonsense, absolute complete nonsense, okay? Now, maybe the speed of your climbing is going to be a little slower than some roles, but I'm not even sure. That probably depends on champion. But at the end of the day, if you are better than your opponents in your role, you will climb. It's all relative. If I am a bigger impact than the enemy support, I will climb eventually. And that can mean a ton of different things, okay? That can mean pressure, that can mean roaming, that can mean transitioning your leads, that can mean damage, that can mean healing, that can mean objectives, that can mean all sorts of stuff. And it can't be quantified. And that's one of the things that it's, I think, hard for me and hard for other people in the same, in maybe a different fashion, right? Is that, like, if you're winning every single game, if you think, man, I am smashing my opponents every single game and I can't climb, one of two things is happening. Either you really are just getting that unlucky, which does happen, or you suck at transitioning your leads and you need to own up to that yourself, right? Like, if you are destroying the enemy lanes and losing every game, unlucky, or you need to learn how to transition your leads. And that's something that I think a lot of people don't know how to do. And it's a really important talent as well. And it can be hard to identify which one is the case, especially if you're really self-critical and reflective. But it's important to be aware of it. All right, so that's anything else I wanted to say about point 4? No, I think that's pretty much it. All right. So the final part of Melyn Rants is something that drives me bonkers, and you won't be surprised to see it on this list. Why preseason matters. Okay? So first of all, this is a bit of a trick, okay? Preseason doesn't matter. Okay? I said it. Preseason doesn't matter. But neither does the season, okay? Like, we're all playing a video game for one reason or another, and, like, there's this arbitrary date that after the arbitrary date, which has garbage rewards unless you're challenger or maybe gold 5, right? For the vast majority of players, like 90-something% of players, your rank at the end of the season doesn't matter. You don't even get a border at the end anymore. It's so garbage. So you're are you telling me that you're playing for 9 or 10 months out of the year just so at the end of the season you get some artificial garbage nonsense border? That's absurd. You play the game to improve. You play the game to have fun, right? If you're not playing the game to have fun, if you're not playing the game, like, all right, you need to identify, you individually need to identify for yourself, why the heck do you play League of Legends? I personally don't find it that fun. I love streaming and I love competition and self-improvement. Those are the reasons I play League of Legends. Some people like playing with friends. Some people do genuinely find it fun. Some people are also competitive like me. If you can't identify any reason why you're playing the game, stop playing the game. I guarantee it is negatively impacting your life, and it's negatively impacting the people around you, both in your real life as well as online. So identify that, and really no matter why you play League, there's no reason why these months you shouldn't try and the other months you should. Like, why am I going to be trying in February and not today, right? February is so far away from the end of the season or something. So unless you're just going to AFK and just play decay games for the rest of your season or something, it's bonkers. Like, sure, preseason doesn't really matter, but neither does the actual season. Identify why you're playing the game and be consistent. Okay? Yeah, and this is something that also grinds my gears and belongs in the Melyn Talks, is I really do think streamers are big culprits of a lot of these things I'm talking about. And it's like celebrities in general, right? Celebrities in general, anything they say, whether they're informed or not, trickles down to the population at large, and we think these, even if we don't consciously think it. You know, celebrities and public figures influence the way that we think. And streamers are the same phenomenon within the gaming community. If a popular streamer says something, people pick it up. If a popular streamer plays something, people pick it up. People pick it up is really fun to say. And I think there's a lot of, I think it's important as a streamer to be aware of this and think of what you're communicating to your audience and how you're changing people. Personally, right, I'm not going to name any names, but there are toxic streamers who are nice in game, but are toxic verbally. And I have no real problem with them by themselves. But the problem with that sort of thing, and I'm getting a bit on a tangent, is that people in the chat emulate it. People who watch that streamer behave like that. It's like when you're watching cartoons as a kid, right? Like, you say the things that you see on the cartoons, which is why certain parents will restrict what their children can watch. We always repeat back what we see, and that's something you really have to worry about. And I think a lot of streamers are dropping the ball on. Like, do I think that, you know, that it's their fault, you know, that they're mandated to be good role models? Of course not. No, but it's something to be aware of, and I think it's important. Okay, so that's pretty much the things that really grind my gears here. Common misconceptions that I hear all the time. Really appreciate you guys watching. I'm going to be trying to record one of these every week. I'll be out of town next week, so I'll maybe record it on the weekend again. Thanks for watching, and may your enemies feel the thorns embrace.